Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone out there is doing okay. We have been off. I have been sick. I'm really just now getting myself back together. I wasn't sick that long, but just my body getting back together because I hadn't ate in over almost a week. But neither here nor there, we're back. And tonight we're going to actually talk about yoga and the body. So we always talk about meditation, we talk about yoga, but tonight we're going to go into more depth about yoga because when it comes to yoga, you have to think about your spine, you have to think about the chakras and how all of it aligns together. Okay, so we can even talk about how when it talked about in the garden the apple and the snake. So most people now know that there was not a physical snake, it was actually your kundalini that ran up that runs up and down your spine. So that's exactly what that is. And remember, sit high is your crown chakra. So tonight we're going to go into a little bit more depth. Maybe you might want to have your yoga mats or a blanket or something so that you can learn definitions, different poses, and things like that. So tonight, Sun Goddess is not with us tonight, but she is watching from afar. She is very healthy and she's doing well. So tonight, actually, Eternal Goddess is going to go more into what yoga is, why we need to do yoga, and different places that are more important to do yoga than other places. No, you may not always go outside to do yoga, but that is the most important place. And also remember, when we talk about nature, we talk about going into the grass, putting your feet in the grass and being grounded. Now, if you do this, your energy is going to shoot up. This is why this is supposed to be done at a certain time of the day when the sun is at its brightest. So that's early in the AM or late in the PM, which is around 3 or 4 o'clock. Okay. So this is the time that you want to do that. Also, that's the time you will also want to have your feet in the grass and hug a tree so that you can get all that. Remember, trees been around forever, forever. So just imagine if you hug a tree. Back when I lived in St. Louis and I used to do the spiritual studies and we used to go out to Forest Park, we would actually sit under the tree and have our spiritual studies. And it was like the trees were talking to us, it was like they were communicating with us. And when we did it that way, it was better because we had no technology. We didn't have any of those things. It was just us and nature sitting in the grass amongst the trees. So, again, yoga is very important. So, we keep telling you the same thing over and over because we want you to understand what exactly we're trying to tell you. Okay, so this podcast, we actually could be on another level, but the reason why we're on the level that we are because we want people to understand we're not the people that are on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok. We want you to get this to understand. We're not trying to convince you, but we want you to understand. When you understand, then you can say, I got it. Then you can go to other levels. Guys, girls, males, females, we're not going to be on this level for too much longer. We're going to start moving to a higher level. So if you don't have the basics, I don't know what other platform is going to give you the basics because we're moving on up. We have to. Okay. So with that being said, we want to go ahead and bring in our guest speaker for the night, and that is Eternal Goddess. And again, she is going to break down what yoga is and why yoga is important. Okay.
There we go. Peace and love, y'all. Peace and love, y'all. I am Eternal Goddess. Here on Food for the Soul, 444 Podcast, Let's Talk Podcast. I hope everybody is doing great tonight. Like Spirit Queen said, I hope y'all got y'all mats or whatever like that. And tune into this live tonight where I will be, teaching you the importance of yoga. We're going to talk about the importance of yoga, why it is beneficial and the root of yoga. So we're gonna get down to the root of things, and I hope y'all enjoy. I hope y'all learn, and yeah, let's start talking about it. So let me pull up my screen with my presentation. Okay, can you see my screen? Okay, all right, y'all. So let's get into the breakdown of yoga. The importance of yoga by me, Eternal Goddess. Here are my table of contents, y'all. So, like I said before, we'll be talking about the root of yoga, the importance of yoga when it comes to breath work and meditation in yoga, and the different body parts yoga targets and benefits. All right, the root of yoga. Yoga is an ancient practice deriving from India from over 5,000 to 7,000 years ago. So yoga has been around for a very long time, y'all. It's a very ancient practice. The root word, which is the Sanskrit language for yoga, is called yuj, which means to yoke or unite, creating a union and reuniting with self between mind, body, and soul. This is where we bring in the balance of the lower self and the higher self. The lower self is where the ego and the mind and the body relates, and the higher self is where the divine awareness, spirit, and source, connects. We can't have one without the other, y'all. So when it comes to yoga, when it comes to just, really getting into this practice and really learning about the body, learning about ourselves, we have to understand that, we have these different parts, aspects of our bodies. So when we are in these yoga sessions and we are doing this practice, y'all, we are able to understand, what is going on a, spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical level. So we can't have the lower self and without the higher self, and we can't have the higher self without the lower self. There has to be a balance. We have to bring those together, and that is where the union happens in our bodies, in the mind, body, and soul. So the root of yoga is where we master the mind and breath. So when doing yoga, it's important to really be in a meditative state. That is the intention that we should use yoga for, is to be in a meditative state when we are practicing. Because when we get into the flow of yoga, it's all about creating mindfulness. It's all about opening our minds, y'all, and not being judgmental. We have to be non-judgmental when it comes to yoga. If we're not doing yoga to be perfect, we're doing yoga because it's a practice. Our intention behind it, it's something that will bring us clarity, focus, helps us to relax, and all of those good things. Breath work, which is called pranayama, is where we practice breathing techniques to help calm and regulate the nervous system. So the most important part about yoga, y'all, is to really help relax our nervous system. So when we are, doing this practice, even if we do it for only 5 minutes a day, or however many days out of the week, only 5 minutes, have like at least three different, yoga poses, and we do that for 5 minutes. and we are breathing, we're doing our breathing techniques, we're in that meditative state, we're able to really tune into our body. We're able to really relax our nervous system. And that is one of the most important parts about yoga and beneficial parts about yoga. Okay, we're going to get into the importance of breath work and meditation in yoga. So, like I said, the breath, the mind, the meditation. The breath is also known as spirit. So, it's important to know that the breath is the spirit, the ka, and that breath is the prana, the life force in the body. Now, this life force is located at the root of the spine, which is the coccyx, and deals with what we know as the Kundalini rising. Just like Spirit Queen, talked about before, the Kundalini rising, the serpent energy is the energy where, it rises up to the third eye and crown chakra, bringing in enlightenment, illuminating the crown chakra, helping us to really, be aware of just that oneness that we have inside of us, that universe inside of us. The mind is where we ignite this remembrance of source within, encouraging mindfulness through meditation and knowing that the universe is inside us. We have a big old universe inside of us. You and I equals oneness. It equals us. It equals the divine awareness of who we are. And the Kundalini rising is just another awakening that we have, pertaining to just, other awakenings that we have. This is a part of the spiritual practice, that we learn to understand and understand about ourselves. So, like I said before, the life force is located at the root of the spine, the coccyx. And that's important to know that because, being rooted here in this, reality, yoga helps us to really balance out just our bodies, our mind, and our soul. It helps us to really connect with that life force within us. Okay, the different body parts yoga targets and benefits. Okay, so yoga harmonizes the nervous system, like I said, by strengthening the muscles, improving circulation, and balancing hormones. These are the areas where yoga targets the most in the body as we stretch and flow. But yoga engages in every major system in the human body. So not only does it help with the nervous system or the circulatory system or the skeletal system, but it helps with the endocrine system and all of those other different systems because they all have to, connect, come together. And this deals with the all of the chakras in our bodies, the channels, the nadis, where the energy has to flow in our bodies. Because as we are stretching, as we are flowing in yoga, we're able to release this energy in the body. We're able to move it around in our body. And this helps us to bring so much more clarity. Each posture, which are called asanas, breath, and mantra, reprograms the body's electromagnetic field, helping to repattern the nervous system to be tuned into the same rhythm as nature. So, like I said, yoga is super important. And when we start with the root chakra, which is where that life force energy is located, it helps us to be more stable. It helps us to be more stabilized, more grounded, you know, on earth and just really in our body, in our life, in our mindset, how we really go about our day, each day. Because, like I said, it all starts in the mind. It all starts in the mind. So we're going from the crown and we're going down. We're going from the crown and we're going down. So with that mind power that we have and that we're connecting to, that we're opening up, we're able to be more grounded. We're able to feel just safe in our body. We're able to feel more confident in ourselves and all of that. Some benefits of yoga includes that it reduces stress and anxiety. It improves flexibility and strength, enhances mental clarity and focus, and supports emotional healing and promotes self-awareness and peace. So, like I said before, it's all about the meditation. It's all about the breath work. As long as we are, doing this breath work, and we are breathing through yoga, and we're allowing ourselves to relax, we're not thinking about, how we might look or whatever like that, but we're able to really get into the motion of it. We're able to really tap into the energy of yoga, the spirit of yoga, and why it is so, important for us to really do that. And as electromagnetic beings, the nervous system is like wires in the body. It's igniting that fire within us. It's igniting that, what I mean, that divine awareness in us. So it's very important for us to, do yoga. Symbology is in and through the reflection and sacredness of who we are. And this is experienced in this physical body, which is, you can also call it, your altar, your vessel, because that's what it is, the temple. The body is a temple. The body is a temple for the soul. So us as souls, we are in this physical body. And for us to be in this body, we're able to use yoga as a beautiful tool, to really help us and to really benefit us on all levels. Every movement is a prayer, every inhale a remembrance, and every pose a geometrical form of alignment in harmony with the divine nature of who we are. Because like I said, we have the universe inside of us, y'all. So when we are doing these different poses, and we're doing these different mantras, affirmations, or whatever like that, we're able to really show show up, and express, our nature. We're able to show the universe, what I mean, how we want to feel, how we want to just really like live, and really tap into that perception, a deeper perception and awareness of ourselves, getting to the root of everything. And that is where the sacredness relies in the reflection of who we are. And that was the end of my presentation. Let me see. But yeah, okay, so I'm gonna do 3 different yoga poses tonight that I feel like, would be good. And, some of the yoga poses that I love to do when I'm doing yoga. Um, but yeah, before we get into that, y'all just wanted to ask Spirit Queen, do you have anything to say about yoga before I get started with that? Can you hear me? Okay, okay. All right, y'all. So let's get into it. Let me get over here. Okay, so the first pose that we are going to do is the garland pose. And this pose right here is one of the root chakra poses. It's one of the root chakra poses. And this pose is called the Malasana. So another word for garland pose is the Malasana. Um, it, offers a wide range of beneficial, um, for both physical and mental, for both of our physical and mental well-being. Is able to really keep us stabilized and grounded. You know what I mean? And it helps us to focus more. And it helps also with mindfulness. It helps to strengthen our muscles. And yeah. So what I like to do is I like to just sit here in the pose. You put both of your elbows in between your thigh where your inner knee is located, and I just like to take some deep breaths and really tap into, you know, that meditative state in yoga. And you can do this for at least 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes, however long that you want to do it. I just really love this pose because it really relaxes me. And like I said, it deals with the root chakra. So it helps with grounding, it helps with stabilization in the body. And yeah, and it really stretches out our spine, it stretches out our hips, and it really helps with the ankles. It really helps with the ankles, any pain in our lower back or lower hip. And it also improves the digestion, in our bodies as well. Do that, baby. But I just want to do yoga. No, you can't do the yoga right now, honey girl. Do it over there. Huh? Do it over there. Okay, you do it over here, and I will do it over here. Okay, so let's move into the next pose, which is the child pose. And with the child pose, you just stretch out. You can either do it like this, or you can put your hands behind you and lay them to your side like this. And yeah, it really helps with also improving focus and concentration. Um, like I said, it helps to stretch out the body. It helps to stretch out not just the lower back, but it also helps to stretch out the neck. And this is just a really great pose to really just relax and breathe. And you can include this when you're doing yoga. You can include this at the end of your practice, after you've done, your other different poses. But these poses right here are more for like when you're ending your yoga or whatever you want it to be. You can do this, and it just helps you to relax. Okay. Do it we can do it this way. Like I said, it's good for stretching. It's also good for anxiety and relieving tension in the body. Okay, so we're gonna move on to our next pose, which I love to do, and this is the butterfly pose. And this right here, it helps to stretch the, inner thighs. It helps to, get rid of tension in the body as well. It helps to also release menstrual cramps. And it's really good for women that are pregnant. And it really opens the hips and opens the heart as well. So it's like good for the heart chakra. The heart chakra. That's it. Yes, it is. Okay. So let me just say hi to her, and then you can talk to her, okay? Okay, baby, you gotta be quiet, honey bun. But yeah, this is a really great pose for that. Like I said, it strengthens the muscles. It's really good for circulation in the body, and all of these poses are really good with digestion and just really opening ourselves up and really improving our flexibility. So this is the butterfly pose. I just told you and that was it. That was it. So those are some of the poses that I like to do. And yeah. Hi guys. Today. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah. Why don't you say like that? But yeah, for me, y'all, yoga is more so of really just learning how to be patient, with ourselves, really learning how to focus and really like improve energy. Like I said, it's good, for moving that energy in the body, stretching our bodies, and it really benefits us in so many ways. When we wake up, in the rising, and it really gives us gives us a lot of energy. Well, it gives me a lot of energy anyways when I do yoga, and I do get into that place with myself, that sacred space with myself. We doing a place for us. Okay. So today we just try okay to do it. Okay. But yeah, so that's I got this. That's everything, y'all. So if you want to book a session or whatever like that with me, you can do that on foodforthesoul.org and book a yoga session with me. And, we can flow, we can do it together. Um, I really just got into yoga at the beginning of this year, and I realized how beneficial it is, to and how important it is to really do it. So, I got more into it, and I like to do it. So, if you want to book a session with me, you can do that on foodforthesoul.org. So I got to start over. Just got to start over. First,
Okay, so let's first give it up for her assistant. Let's give it up for her assistant. She was amazing.
she told me,
Okay,
still a baby. Wait, baby.
educate her. So as you can see, any age can do yoga. And if you need to go over this, you can always rewatch this. But the most important thing is to go ahead and book a session. You can book a session by yourself or you can book it as a group. A group is good. If you are shy, you can book it by yourself. Now, right now, we want to get as many people booked because if you pay attention to what's going on outside in the world, you're going to need this. This is also preparing you for everything that we have been teaching you. So, yes, yoga is important. It's part of your meditation. So, like she said in the beginning, 5 minutes. You only need 5 minutes to get intact with yourself. So, those that women that are going through their menstrual, like she said, those help with the cramps and things like that. It also, if you're stressed out, there are certain poses that you can use for that. So remember the butterfly pose. Most of you probably did that in gym, did not realize you were doing yoga. So there are other poses, frog, and there are so many poses, and you can relieve your body of the stress. So, do you want to touch on anything else, Eternal Goddess, about the yoga?
Yeah, also, well, since my baby is here, like ever since I started doing yoga, she's been more so, wanting to get into meditation and all of that. So it's really good for children as well to do, child yoga, because a lot of yoga is based on, the inner child and just really connecting with the inner child, that's inside of all of us. So it's really great, to do with your children as well. And also, um, yeah, that's about it for right now. Baby, listen, girl, go sit down. Move that, baby.
Okay. So, uh again, like she said, it's good for children. So if people have children they want to do, we can also do a group one for kids, or if a parent and a child want to come, or the whole family, you can book like that. So there are many ways that you can book. If you go on www.food/for/da/soul.org and go to Yoga for the Soul. You can see the different time slots that we have. I think the one that I think 15 minutes is the least that we have. So we go up until an hour. And don't forget about your divine destiny readings because those are on point too. In fact, I just had one read and it was so on point that it just gives me chills, because it's the universe talking to you. Remember who you are. She just said you have the whole universe in you. So if you have the universe in you, that means that the universe is communicating with you. The universe wants you to do the things that we're teaching you. Remember, you have not long to be with us, because we're going to start moving up. We're kind of done with the basics now. We're going to go hard, and it's going to be where you're going to have to join and have to become a member. So get it while you can. It's very, very important, especially with everything that's going on right now in the world, with the politics and the weather, and just, I'm not going to get into it, but this is very important for you. Is this real? Is this real? This world that you in, is it real? These are the things that you're going to tap into. What realm are you on? Is your ancestors talking to you? Are they right there with you right now? These are the things that we're teaching you. You have to get the basics in order to move to the next level. It's very important. So those that keep passing by and looking at the people on Instagram, and you lost and you don't understand because you need to start here. We not conspiracy theory. We not none of that. We're spiritual beings. We're speaking from the spirit. When we tell you your energy, frequency, vibration, all those things are important. Is 100% important. And yoga is a part of it. Meditation is a part of it. Divine readings is a part of it. This podcast is a part of it. You have to get your spirit in order to understand what is really going on in this world. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and let Eternal Goddess close us out. We will see you guys next week with another topic, and hope you are ready. Remember, get those yoga mats together. Book your yoga appointment. If you book today, we will give you a discount on your yoga. Thank you, and Eternal Goddess, you can go ahead and close us out.
All right, y'all. Sorry about that. I hope y'all learned something tonight. I hope y'all enjoyed. And yeah, like I said, with my sessions, if you book a group section, I like to move with the natural frequencies of the earth, so I'll be able to create that session for us. But if you book a 101, then I'll be able to, really see where, you really need, to release anything, that's in the body, or areas that you might have, some pain in or whatever like that in the body. So that's all I want to say, y'all. I hope y'all have a great night. My baby is very sleepy, and she does this when she is sleepy, and she's never done this on live before, so I apologize, girl. But yeah, I hope y'all have a great night, and yeah, book a session with me on the site, girl. Stop, stop it. And
Okay, on that
yeah,
note,
thank
baby
you.
sleepy, we're going to go ahead and end with peace, love, and light. And don't forget to check out the website, because there are many things on the website that you might be interested in. Peace, love, and light. And we do have spiritual consultation on there. Thank you for joining us as always. We love you guys.
Peace, y'all. Peace, y'all.